Alright, so this is week 2 of my 3-week mini cut, and this time I had a huge obstacle to overcome. Greek Orthodox Easter. This is the day of the year that we Greeks probably eat the most. Think of it as a 4th of July if you're from the States times 2. Basically, any neighborhood you pass by smells like sizzling fat in the air. We roast whole lambs on spits in our backyards like savages. We barbecue some extra meat on the side of that because the whole lamb is not enough. There are mountains of baked potatoes on our tables, Greek traditional pies, desserts. It's basically a food marathon from the morning until night. And although I do not like cheating my diets, this is also my favorite feast of the year. So let's see how I do. Now, for those of you who are new here, or in case you haven't seen a video on the channel for a while, right now I am in phase 2 of my diet. I started dieting beginning of February this year, lost over 20 pounds in 2 months. After that, took a little diet break for reasons explained in the previous video. And right now I'm in the middle of my second phase of rapid fat loss. By the way, if you want to learn how to diet fast and effectively, as I've been showing to you these last months on the channel, if you want to do this by getting stronger and revealing a more muscular physique instead of getting skinny fattier, as a lot of people do when they drop weight fast, using only a set of gymnastic rings and adjustable dumbbells, then make sure you click on the link below to learn more about our new program, Project Underdog, which will be starting soon. Again, link in the comment below. This way you can have all the clarity and accountability a coach can offer to you, and you'll have a structured program to follow every step of the way. So back to today's topic. I did indeed cheat my diet this Easter, and I do not regret it. But since both me and Coach John are big food lovers, like eating out in the weekends is one of our favorite activities, we do have systems in place that help us have more flexibility in these situations, which is what I'll be talking about today. So how can you fit in a little bit of a bigger meal during the weekend in a diet and still not have that sabotage your whole process? There are basically 2 ways to do this that we like to use in our coaching. Strategy number 1 is basically setting aside a 10 to 20% of your daily calories by eating less, and then caching those calories during the weekend, during 1 or 2 bigger meals of your preference. Practicing intermittent carb fasting around those meals can also be a good strategy that we like to combine. This way you can save all of your carbs for that one main meal. But strategy number 2 is what I like to do, and this is a little bit more aggressive, probably also more suitable for these huge kind of feasts, even more so if you're already on a diet. So here's how this looks. Let me first of all show you what I did, and then I'll explain the main idea behind this. I basically started the day before with a scoop of protein in the morning. After that, I followed this with a 1-hour ruck with 15 kilos. Next, I had my main meal of the day, which was 200 grams of grilled chicken, plenty of veggies, and 200 grams of cooked rice. Just enough carbs basically for me to have energy the next day, since we'll be also training the next day. And finally, for dinner, I had another 2 scoops of whey protein mixed with 220 mLs of 2% milk. This way, I basically got 2 grams of protein per kilo at just 1,300 calories. So the main idea here is that, you want to cover your protein intake with as little calories as possible, giving you a little bit of carbs as well, just to make sure that you will have some energy for the next day. Next, for the day of the feast, what you want to do is fast during most of the morning, have a pre-workout protein shake before your workout, which you want to time before your big meal. So the way this looked for me is I fasted until 12 p.m., had my protein shake, rucked for 3,500 steps to my calisthenics workout spot, I got a pretty badass workout there that included 50 minutes of weighted calisthenics, followed by another 50 minutes of more skill and play things. I talked more about this in the previous video, how I'm adding some more acrobatic calisthenics lately, things that I want to do when my twin daughters are ready to practice with me. Finally, I did another 3,500 steps of rocking back home. And at 3 p.m., I finally had my big feast of the day. So normally this day of the year, we also do the whole savage thing of, lambs on a spit, extra meat on the barbecue, mountains of carbs and all that. But since we had another special event to celebrate this week, basically our twins are here. My wife gave birth. We kept it a little bit more indoors, a little bit more simple. But still, that doesn't mean that I did not eat like a savage. So let's have a look at what my meal included that day. I started with 1 shot of chipuro to toast to my daughters. Of course, after that, I had 3 portions of veggies with Greek servings of olive oil, so plenty of calories in there. I had 4 portions of baked lamb, including plenty of skin and fat, because these are the tastiest parts. I had 4 portions of baked potatoes, 4 slices of bread, 2 generous portions of tzatziki, and 2 big slices of tiramisu. Alright, so let's see how did this cheat meal impacted my diet. Now, the plan this week was, for starters, to get an average of 12K steps per day. Normally, I like to do a little bit more than that. I like to do somewhere between 15,000 and 20,000, but just because my wife gave birth to our twins and, there was a lot of madness going on with that, I set a more realistic goal. Still, I did manage to get almost 14,500 steps, which is not bad. I was indeed a little bit, proactive there because I knew that I was going to mess up my diet on Sunday. So I tried to get as much as possible. Therefore, 14,500, not bad. In terms of protein, I did 185 grams, which was my target exactly. So spot on there. Workouts, the plan was to do 3 at this point. I did 4. The reason I did the extra one was because I wanted to train before the big feast on Sunday. And one thing I didn't explain previously, although I did explain that in the previous video, is that there is a logic to placing your workout before your big meal of the day, right? Especially when it comes to carbs. Like having most of your carbs post-workout does improve things a little bit. It does improve nutrient partitioning, meaning how your body metabolizes the nutrition you give it, making sure that it's storing less fat, utilizing more protein and stuff like that. Again, these are details, these are things that matter more as you get leaner and leaner. So if you're at the beginning of your fat loss journey, if you're above, I would say 13% of body fat, doesn't really matter. If you're getting down to those really lean levels, these are little tweaks that can make the difference, especially if you have that last little pouch of fat hiding your abs. So next, let's see what did I do in terms of weight loss. The goal with this week was to lose 1 to 1.5 kilos. And Sunday morning, I was basically 1.5 kilos down. Now, fasting a little bit more the previous day did help with that, but still, goal accomplished. So I'm happy with that. Obviously there was a bump in weight the next day. So I did weigh, I think, 71 point something kilos. You can see it on the screen on Monday, but I did course correct that day. I ate a little bit less than my original deficit, and therefore my weight was back down Tuesday morning. Now, the main message, the main lesson that I want to share with you from today's video is that perfection is only an obstacle when you're trying to get in amazing shape as a normal, average human being, okay? Like when you maybe have a family, when you have a business, when you have responsibilities and all kinds of other things in your life, and if you're not planning to be a professional bodybuilder or an Olympic athlete, trying to do everything perfect only messes things up. This is something that we see all the time when we coach people, those who obsess on doing everything perfect from the very beginning, those who have that all or nothing mindset. I would say 9 out of 10 times fail with their goals. They do great for a little while and then they just crumble under a little mistake, the moment things go a little bit off the way that they want them to be. The people who do see great results though in the long run are those that have that growth mindset, those of you who are okay with making a little mistake and, after that, course correcting a little bit, focusing on doing things a little bit better the next week and a little bit more better the week after that, are those who honestly see amazing results in the long run. Especially when it comes to diet, instead of guilt tripping yourself and punishing yourself the moment you make a little mistake, what you want to do is just focus on getting back on the horse, maybe course correcting a little bit the next day or few days, depending on where you're at right now on your journey, and just keep hammering those basic habits. Keep, working out, keep getting steps in, keep eating quality meals, and just keep staying true to your plan until you start seeing results again. That was all for today. Let me know if you relate with any of the stuff that I shared with you today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep in mind that Project Underdog will be starting soon. We haven't started yet. We did postpone the program a little bit because of the birth of my twins last week that came a little bit prematurely, but don't worry, they're doing great. And you'll be notified the moment we are ready to launch, which will be in about 7 or 8 days from the day that this video is published. And until next time, keep on training.